Today is a special day, a moment drawn by the universe, because you didn't get here by chance. There's a reason you're hearing these words right now. You feel how something inside you awakens, an echo that recognizes you as different, unique, set apart by God Himself for a purpose that goes beyond the ordinary. You are not here to be like the others. You were not born to adapt, you were born to stand out. Think about it, how many times have you felt that you don't belong, that your thoughts, your dreams, and your aspirations are too big for the world around you? This feeling is not a mistake, it is the confirmation that you have been chosen, set aside by the Creator for something extraordinary. While others conform to everyday life, you feel the restlessness of reaching the unattainable, of going where no one else can go. Right now, God has lifted you up and put you in a place where your enemies cannot touch you, where criticism and doubt have no power over you. But it is not enough to know this, it is time to claim it, to live it fully, because the world needs to see what an elected representative can do. You are not a spectator in this life, you are the protagonist of a story that will change everything. Before continuing, I invite you to stop for a second. Click on the subscribe button and activate notifications, because here, in this channel, we explore together the greatness you already carry within you. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to give it a like. It's a small gesture, but it makes a big difference and allows us to continue to bring more life-changing content. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear is not just a message, it's a statement to your spirit. God has placed you in a place so high, so steadfast, that no storm can overthrow you. It is time to understand why, since the beginning of time, God has chosen certain individuals to fulfill unique purposes, purposes that cannot be delegated or replicated. You, who hear these words, are one of those individuals. And even if life circumstances try to convince you otherwise, know that your current position is not the result of an accident, it is a divine design. It doesn't matter what others think, what others say, or even any doubts you may have had at some point. The fact is that you have been placed in a place where the noise of the world cannot distract you and where the hands of those who envy you cannot reach you. God does not choose the strong according to the standards of the world or those who seem perfect. He chooses those who carry within them a flame, an indestructible passion, and gives them the strength to overcome what others consider impossible. Insuperable. That doesn't mean you won't face challenges. On the contrary, challenges are the tests that confirm your vocation, the steps that lead you to the place where you are meant to be. Remember, no one can enter the place where God raised you, because that place was made exclusively for you. It is a placeholder, a level of existence where your gifts, talents, and purpose shine through without rival. Think about this for a moment. When Joseph was thrown into a well by his own brothers, it seemed that all was lost. But even in that moment of darkness, God had already set him apart to reign in Egypt. What his brothers tried to use to destroy him was what God used to exalt him. The same happens with you. Perhaps, in your life, you have faced betrayals, rejections, or even moments of deep doubt. But each of these experiences has been a link in the chain that elevates you to a greater purpose. Because when God chooses you, no matter how low you fall, He will lift you up to a height where your enemies cannot reach you. This place to which you have been called is not measured in meters or kilometers. It is a spiritual and emotional position that places you above criticism, comparison, and limitations. It is an elevation that does not depend on your education, your social status, or your human connections. It is God's favor that sustains and positions you. It is His mighty hand that has built this invisible pedestal where you are now, and no one has the power to bring you down. You may wonder, why me? Why was I chosen? The answer is simple but profound. God saw in you what others could not see. He saw the ability to endure, to persevere, and to shine, even in the darkest moments. He saw a heart willing to obey, a mind open to learning, and hands ready to work for His purpose. When everyone looked outside and saw limits, God looked inside and saw infinite possibilities. Therefore, You don't need to explain to anyone why you are where you are. His place needs no justification, because it comes from above. The elevation God has given you is not only a gift, but also a responsibility. You are not in this position to look down with superiority, but to look forward with purpose. You are there to make a difference, to be a beacon in the midst of darkness, to inspire others by your example. Every step you take in this high place is not only a victory for you, but a sign for those watching you from afar. They see your success, but they don't know the tears, prayers, and struggles that brought you here. However, what they do know, even if they don't admit it, is that there's something about you that they can't ignore. What they feel, but cannot explain, is the mark of the chosen one. Don't be fooled, envy and criticism will come, because they always come. But here's the difference, those negative words no longer have the power to reach you. It is like an eagle flying to a height where crows cannot follow it. Not because the eagle despises crows, but because its nature requires it to fly higher, above earthly storms and conflicts. So it is for you. Your nature as the chosen one calls you to live at a level where distractions and negativity cannot touch you. It is a place where your peace, focus, and purpose remain intact, no matter what happens around you. This level of elevation is not something you can achieve on your own merits. It is the result of divine grace, of God's direct intervention in your life. Therefore, you should not be full of pride or allow arrogance to obscure your vision. On the contrary, this is the time to give thanks, to recognize that everything you have and everything you are comes from above. It is an act of deep humility to understand that even though you have worked hard, it is God who has opened the doors for you, and these doors that He opens no man can close. This is also a time to strengthen your faith and conviction, because where you are is not without its challenges. In fact, the higher you are, the more visible you will be and the more some people will try to distract or discourage you. But do not be afraid, for the one who raised you up will also protect you. When God lifts you up, He doesn't do it arbitrarily or aimlessly. Everything that has happened in your life, every step, every mistake, every victory, and every lesson, is part of a larger plan to prepare you for this moment. And here's the important point, the place where you are now, where no one else can reach you, is not just a refuge, it's a platform. It is the place from which you must fulfill your mission, shine more brightly, and show that you have been chosen not only to receive blessings but to be a blessing to others. Look around and reflect. You may not always feel relieved. Maybe recent tests have made you feel weak or isolated. But that's because you're at a level that few people understand. Like gold that needs to pass through fire to be refined, you have been tested, for only the pure and strong can withstand the heights to which God has brought you. There is one thing you need to understand deeply, not everyone is meant to walk with you on this journey, and that's okay. Some people can't breathe air from above, not because they're evil, but simply because they haven't been assigned to the place you've been called to. It is like Moses, who was taken to the top of Mount Sinai to receive the law directly from God, while the people waited below, confused and afraid. Moses was on a high place, secluded to receive divine instruction. And what did he do when he got off? He shared these instructions with the people. But what they didn't understand was the cost of that meeting. Moses was in a place where only the elect could stand, face to face with God's presence. This experience not only changed Moses' life but also the lives of everyone around him. You, as the chosen one, have a similar responsibility. You have been set apart to receive a vision, a clarity that you must share with those who are waiting below. But make no mistake, not everyone will applaud your elevation. Some will wonder why you and not them. Others will try to discredit, to look for fault in you or even in your past. But here's the key, when you're in the place where God has placed you, those voices lose their strength. Not because they cease to exist, but because their attention is directed upwards, not to what happens at ground level. The attacks won't disappear, but they won't have the power to deflect you either. Remember, Jesus also faced constant criticism from those who could not understand his purpose. They called him a blasphemer, accused him of breaking traditions and rejected him in his own land. But none of these things prevented him from fulfilling his mission. Your mission also comes with challenges. The height to which you have been raised requires strength, but not only physical or emotional strength, but a spiritual fortitude that can only come from God. This is where faith comes into play more crucially than ever before. When you're at that level, you can't rely solely on your intelligence, skills, or connections. You have to depend completely on the one who put you there. Because while others see you as a leader, as an example, you know that everything you are and everything you do is supported by something much bigger than you. I want you to think once again of the eagle. When an eagle flies high, it doesn't just do so to escape predators. He does this because his vision is clearer from above. It is able to see further, plan better, and discern precisely when and where to move. You have also been elevated to have a perspective that others may not have. From this place, you can make decisions that not only affect your life but also the lives of those who trust you. But that means you need to be strategic, wise, and constantly commune with God to make sure that every step you take aligns with His plan. Sometimes, you may feel lonely in height. This elevated place may seem like no one understands what you're going through. But remember, loneliness is not always a punishment, often it is a preparation. God sets you apart not so that you are alone, but so that you can hear His voice without distraction. Just as Jesus retreated to secluded places to pray and recharge your strength, you too need these moments of deep connection with the Creator. It is in these moments that you receive clarity, strength, and confirmation that you are exactly where you need to be. Also, never forget that your elevation is not only for your benefit. God does not lift you up to accumulate wealth, power, or recognition for yourself. He lifts you up to be a channel, an instrument, a reflection of His glory on earth. Everything you have received, everything you have achieved and everything you will still achieve has a greater purpose. Your success, gifts, and even struggles are part of a divine plan to impact others. You may never know how many lives you have touched, but rest assured that your obedience is making a difference that transcends the visible. And here is the most beautiful thing of all: when God lifts you up, He does not do it temporarily. This is not a passing moment or a phase in your life. It is a permanent state of favor, a sign that His hand is upon you and His purpose is at work in you. However, the key to staying in this high place is gratitude. Give thanks for every blessing, but also for every challenge. Give thanks for the doors that have opened and the doors that have closed, because every step of this journey has been part of a perfect plan, a plan that has brought you to where you are now. This is the time to embrace your position as the chosen one with your whole being. Not with fear, not with doubts, but with full confidence that the same God who raised you will continue to guide you. His place is assured, because it does not depend on human opinions or earthly circumstances. It depends solely on the one who created, chose, and set you apart for this unique purpose. And this, dear chosen one, is something that no one can take away from you. Now it's time to talk about something crucial, what it means to stand firm in the place where God has placed you. Because being elevated by God is not just a privilege, it's a constant call to action. The height to which you have been brought requires a different mindset, a renewed perspective, and an unwavering commitment to the purpose you have been given. This is the time to leave behind any doubts or fears you may still carry, because the position you are in admits neither weakness nor distraction. You were put here to excel, to lead, and to prove that the chosen ones not only shine, but transform everything around them. Imagine, for a moment, David before facing Goliath. He was young, inexperienced by human standards, and ridiculed by his own people. However, David did not allow the opinions of others to define his actions. He knew something that others didn't, that he wasn't alone. The force that sustained him was divine. While others saw only an insignificant shepherd, God saw a king in the making. You're in a similar position. Perhaps some do not understand its path, Perhaps others doubt its ability or even try to minimize its impact. But it doesn't matter, because their real strength doesn't come from them, it comes from God. And when He is with you, there is nothing that can stop you, a giant that can stand up to you. But here's the challenge: staying in this high place requires discipline. It's easy to lose focus when you're surrounded by constant distractions, temptations, and challenges. Therefore, you need to be intentional in the way you live. Every action, every word, and every decision must be aligned with the purpose for which you were lifted up. It is not about striving for perfection, but about living with integrity. This means that even when no one is looking, you continue to act like the chosen one that you are, because you know that your life has an impact that transcends the immediate. Being chosen also means being prepared for the weight of responsibility that comes with your position. Sometimes this burden can feel overwhelming, but remember, God will never give you a burden you can't carry. In fact, every challenge you face is an opportunity to prove your abilities and strengthen your faith. It is in these difficult times that the true character of the chosen shines through. Because, while others stop in the face of adversity, you go forward with the certainty that you are not walking alone. Every step you take is backed up by God's promise that everything you take will be for your own good and for God's glory. I want you to reflect on the importance of your influence as well. Being in this high place means that others are watching you, either to criticize you or to be inspired by you. Every word you say, every action you take, sends a message to those around you. Therefore, you need to be aware of the impact it has. You have the opportunity and responsibility to be a living example of what it means to be chosen. This does not mean that you have to be perfect, but that you must strive to live in a way that reflects the greatness to which you have been called. This also implies that you need to surround yourself with the right people. Not everyone will understand your path, and not everyone is meant to walk with you. Some will be by your side just for convenience, others will try to lead you astray, and others simply won't be able to keep up with them. That's why you should be selective with who you allow in your inner circle. Surround yourself with people who share your vision, who support you, and who challenge you to be better. And if at any point you feel lonely, remember that you are not. God is with you, guiding you, strengthening you, and making sure that you always have what you need to fulfill your purpose. Another key aspect of being in this high place is understanding the role of perseverance and humility. Holding on to this high place means remembering that your success is not just about you. Every blessing you have received, every victory you have achieved, is part of a greater plan. God has lifted you up so that you can be a channel of blessing for others. This means that you have to live generously, not only with your own resources, but also with your time, knowledge, and support. Every time you help someone move forward, you're fulfilling your purpose and strengthening your position as the chosen one. But being generous does not mean being naive. As the chosen one, you must have discernment. Not every opportunity that presents itself is for you. Not all open doors need to be crossed. Therefore, it is crucial that you remain in constant communion with God, seeking His guidance in every decision. When you trust Him, you can be sure that you are always in the right place at the right time, doing what is right. And finally, don't forget to celebrate where you are. Often, the chosen ones are so focused on what comes next that they forget to be grateful for what they already have. Take a moment to reflect on all that you have achieved and all that you have overcome to get here. Don't underestimate the power of gratitude. When you give thanks, you recognize that everything you have comes from God, and this allows you to continue to move forward with humility and confidence. Stay steadfast, focused, and grateful, because what comes next will be even greater. Now, as we conclude this powerful message, I want to invite you to a moment of reflection and divine connection. Close your eyes for a moment and feel God's presence in your life. He lifted you up, protected you, and put you in this unique place where no one else can reach you. Today, more than ever, is the time to surrender to His guidance, to open your heart, and to allow His light to shine upon you with all its intensity. Let us pray together. Lord, thank you for choosing me, for setting me apart, and for giving me a greater purpose than I can comprehend. Help me to stand firm in this high place that you have given me. Give me the wisdom to do your will, the strength to overcome trials, and the humility to always glorify your name. Bless me, Lord, that my life may be a living testimony of your power and grace. Amen. If this message has touched your heart, I encourage you to leave a comment with the words, "Bless me, Lord." Do it as a statement of faith, as an act of acknowledgement that you have been chosen and are ready to receive the blessings God has for you. Also, if this content inspires you and helps you connect more deeply with your purpose, subscribe to the channel. Here we continue to explore the path of the chosen ones together, sharing messages. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming messages God has for you. But today I also want to talk about something very important, which comes from the bottom of my heart. This channel is not only a space of inspiration, it is a ministry that needs your support to continue to grow. If you feel in your heart that you can contribute, I invite you to become a member of the channel. By doing so, you will not only help bring this message to more people, but you will also become part of a community of people who are committed to their faith and purpose. And, if you feel the desire to take it a step further, you can make a donation via the link in the description. Every contribution, however small, helps us to continue to bring this message of hope and transformation around the world. Remember, giving is an act of faith, a seed that you plant to reap greater blessings. God has chosen you, and this is only the beginning of the wonders He has prepared for you. Thank you for being here, for being a part of this community, and for allowing this message to be a tool to glorify your name. Keep moving forward, for the path of the elect is full of greatness. See you in the next video.